Hello everyone, this is Anita Soni and you're watching Deserving Champions. Here I will be helping you out in learning biology in a very simple manner. So the topic I'll be teaching today is genetics. This is a topic from the 12th class syllabus for the NCERT board as well as the state board. And this topic, it is of great importance in NEET as well. So today I'll be taking the very basics of genetics and then eventually I'm going to proceed further. Fine. So we'll start with the basics. Fine. Yeah. So when I say genetics, what do we mean by the term genetics? So genetics, we all know it is a branch of science that deals with the inheritance and variation of characters from parents to the offspring. Very simple. It is a branch of science that deals with the study of inheritance and variation of characters from parents to the offspring. So when I say inheritance and variation, what do I mean by both of these terms? So inheritance is what? Inheritance, it is a transfer of characters from parents to the offspring, that is inheritance, and it is also known as heredity. What do we mean by variation? Variation, it is the degree by which any offspring it differ from its parents is called as the variations. Variations again, they are of two types: somatic variations and the germinal variations. So somatic variations, as the name itself suggests, that they are the variations which occur in the somatic cells. Somatic cells, we all know, they are the body cells, and definitely the variations which will occur in somatic cells, they will be non-inheritable, that is they cannot be inherited from one generation to the next generation. Germinal variations, they occur in the reproductive cells or the germ cells. So since these variations they occur in the germ cells, they can be inherited and we can say that these variations they are inheritable. Fine. Very simple. Now the term genetics, it was coined by W. Bateson in 1906. This is a question which can be raised in your 12th board objectives as well. So it is a term which was coined by W. Bateson. Father of genetics, we all know, very simple, Gregor John Mendel. Father of modern genetics is W. Bateson, and father of experimental genetics is Morgan. Uh, this question, like who is the father of experimental genetics, it was raised in NEET 2020, that who is the father of experimental genetics, and we'll be discussing this experimental genetics in detail uh, in my upcoming sessions. So here I've just mentioned that the father of experimental genetics is Morgan. Fine. So now proceeding to my here on this slide, it is very simple. I've just given an idea about what is genetics and what are variations and who coined the term genetics. Fine. No. So, before starting the topics of genetics in detail, you need to know the meaning of few terms which will come in your genetics section. So, you need to be aware of few terms in genetics that is called as the genetics terminology. So, I am going to tell you about the meaning of few genetic terms. And the first term I have taken is the character. So, yeah, so what do we mean by the term character? So character is basically the feature of an individual, and here in case of botany we will be discussing about the plants in detail. So we can say any feature of a plant. When I say any feature of a plant, it can be the stem height, it can be the color of the seed coat, it can be the color of the pod, it can be the color of the flower. So there are many characters of a plant. So character is basically the feature of an individual, that is any feature of a plant. Here I have given one example, that is the stem height. Fine. Now the next term which I have taken is the trait. Fine. So trait is what? Character, I told you, it is a feature of an individual, and trait, it is the distinguishable feature of a character and its detectable variant. It is the distinguishable feature of a character and its detectable variant. So suppose character, I told you, it is the feature of an individual, and trait is the feature of a character. For example, when I speak about the character stem height, so what can be the feature of a stem height? This, the height of the stem, it can be tall or it can be the short, that is the dwarf. Fine. So when we say stem height is the character, so the trait for stem height, it can be the tallness and the dwarfness. Fine. It can be what? It can be tallness and dwarfness. That is a trait. Next term is the factor. Factor is what? According to Mendel, it is a unit of heredity. Fine. According to Mendel, factor, it is the unit of heredity. It is basically, these are the particles which are responsible for the transmission of characters from the parents to the offspring. We can also call it as particulate or discrete matter which controls the character of an individual. Fine. So this was about the factors. So according to the Mandel, these factors are the particles which are transferred from the parents to the offspring. Fine. Now these factors, today we know them as the gene. Fine. This term gene, factor, it was given by Mandel, and the term gene, it was given by Johannessen. So the gene is factor only, and it is chemically, when we speak about gene, it is a segment or the active form of DNA. It is the segment or active form of DNA which is responsible for inheritance or transmission of characters from parents to the offspring. Okay? And it controls a particular, these genes, they controls the particular function, and we all know the most common of that function is the synthesis of polypeptides, that is the proteins. Fine. So genes basically, we can say them, they are the functional unit of inheritance, and they are responsible for the transmission of characters from parents to the offspring, that is gene. Next term is, we have taken is the allele. Allele is what? Allele, it is the they are the alternate or slightly different form of the same gene. Okay? Every gene, mostly it has two alleles. We will be discussing that. So allele, they are basically alternate or slightly different form of a gene, and the most important is that these alleles, they are located on the same locus of the homologous chromosomes. So they are located on the homologous locus, that is the same locus of homologous chromosomes. When I say homolocus, what do we mean by the term locus? So locus, it is, we all know that genes, they are located on the chromosomes, and locus, it is the position of gene on a chromosome is called as the locus, and homologous locus means the same locus. And homologous chromosomes, I hope you all know, these are the pair of chromosomes which are similar in shape, size, form, that is morphology, is the homologous chromosomes. And what is the function of allele? That alleles, they code for a pair of contrasting trait. Alleles, they code for a pair of contrasting trait. It means that if a character is stem height and its two traits are tallness and dwarfness, then these two traits, they are controlled by two alleles. Fine. And normally there are two alleles of a gene. Because why there are two alleles of a gene? This is very important question. There are two alleles of a gene because uh, individuals, they are diploid. So individuals, they are diploid, therefore there are two alleles of a gene. There are exceptions as well, wherein we can have multiple alleles of a gene. Those exceptions we'll be discussing in detail. As of now, you should know the meaning of allele. Now proceeding to my next slide, I have shown here the allele on a chromosome. I have shown here the allele on a chromosome, that is, I have taken here, this is the homologous chromosome. Fine, this is the homologous chromosome, this is a pair of homologous chromosome. Fine, you can see this is a pair of homologous chromosome, this one chromosome and this one is the another chromosome. and this is one allele P, and this is capital P, and this is another allele small p, and both the alleles, they are located on the same locus. This is the same locus, this locus and this position, this is the same locus, and both of these alleles, they are located on the same locus of this homologous pair of chromosome. So here we can see it is a locus for the first gene containing allele capital P. It is the locus of the allele, that is the small p. We can see capital P and small p, the condition is heterozygous genotype, that is capital P and small p. Now here this is the locus for a different allele, that is a capital Y and capital Y, and these two alleles, they constitute the homozygous genotype, that is capital Y and capital Y. Fine. And this, in a homologous pair of chromosome, we all know that is one chromosome it is paternal and one chromosome it is maternal, that means it comes from the mother. Fine. So this is how the alleles, they are located on a chromosome. And if we say capital P and capital Y, then these two alleles, they are not located on the same locus of this chromosome, therefore they are known as the non-alleles. They are not the alleles, they are the non-alleles. Fine. Okay. Here I told you that alleles are always found in pairs as individuals are diploid, and I have told you this already. We can also say that usually there are two alleles for every gene. Very simple. It's all clear. Now, I told you that every gene has two alleles, and so these two alleles in a pair, they can be same. So when these two alleles in a pair, they are same, the condition is called as the homozygous. Fine. And the genotype of the homozygous condition, it can be the capital T, that is both the alleles, they are same over here. It can be the small t for tallness. Fine. When both the alleles in a pair, when both the alleles of a gene, they are different, then the condition is called as a heterozygous, and the genotype for such a gene, it can be capital T and small t. Heterozygous means both the alleles, they are different, capital T and small t, and definitely the trait that plant will show, it will be tall, that is the tallness. Fine. Now, within these two alleles, there is one dominant allele and one is recessive allele. So when I say dominant allele, so allele that is able to express itself in the presence of alternate allele. Dominant allele is the allele which is able to express itself in the F1 generation, even in the presence of the alternate allele. It is called as a dominant allele. This dominant allele, it is always expressed in capital letter. Whatever, for tallness it is capital T. Here I have shown in general that it is shown by capital letter, that is it can be N, it can be any other capital letter. That is for, if for example, if seed color is yellow, it can be capital Y as well. Fine. So homozygous dominant, it is expressed in homozygous condition as well, because you know it is both the alleles, they are dominant, and dominant is also expressed in heterozygous condition also, because that is why it is dominant. So capital N and small n, then also this dominant character will be expressed. Okay. Few more terms which needs to be discussed in detail. They are, the first one is the phenotype. Phenotype is what, basically it is the external appearance, it is the morphology of an individual. For example, the height of the stem, the color of the flower, and for example, height of the stem is tall or dwarf, that is phenotype. Color of the flower is purple or white, that is phenotype. Color of the seed is yellow or green, that is phenotype. Fine. So that is the phenotype. Genotype, it is a genetic constitution. It is a genetic constitution, and it is an arrangement of alleles. For example, when I say genotype for tall, it can be capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, and genotype for dwarfness, it is small t and small t. Fine. Here I have mentioned small t for tallness, but it is basically small t and small t for dwarfness. For tallness, it is a capital T and capital T and small t. Now the next term is the true breeding P line. Before discussing that true breeding P line, I would like to tell you about pure line. So pure line, it is the individuals which are basically homozygous, ठीक है, or they are true breeding for a particular trait. They can be true breeding for one trait or two traits, and they are basically homozygous. That means both the alleles in their genotype, they are same. Fine. So that is a pure line. When I say true breeding P line, so true breeding P line is one that, having undergone continuous self pollination, it shows stable trait inheritance from parents to the offspring. Fine. That means that if the selfing is done in the plants, then they shows the stable trait inheritance. That is, the same trait is inherited and it is expressed for the upcoming generations. Fine. That is the true breeding P line. Uh, this question, it was also raised in NEET 2020, that what do we mean by true breeding P line. Many options were given in the 4 options, available options, but the correct one was the one that contained that the true breeding P line is one that, having undergone continuous self pollination, shows stable trait inheritance and expression for several generations. Fine. Now the next term is the hybrid. Hybrid is the heterozygous individuals, they are obtained from a cross involving the pure parents. Fine. For example, we are taking pure tall, capital T and capital T, and we are taking pure dwarf, small t and small t. The individual we will get in the offspring we'll be getting in the F1 generation, that will be the hybrid with the genotype capital T and the small t. So that is a hybrid. Cross is basically nothing. It is the breeding or reproducing two plants. It is a cross. In pure line, I had already told you. Gene locus also, I had told you that it is the position of a gene on a chromosome is the gene locus. Now the wild and the mutant allele. Wild and the mutant allele is an original allele that is a dominant in expression. This is very important, that the original allele which is dominant in expression and it is widely spread in the population, that it is very common, is called as a wild allele. So wild allele is the one that is the original allele and it is the dominant in expression and it is very common in the population, is called as the wild allele. Whereas the allele which is formed by a mutation in the wild allele, so allele which is formed by any mutation in the wild allele and it is recessive in expression and it is not very common, it is less common in the population, then that allele is known as a mutant allele. Fine. Okay, few more terms. What do we mean by monohybrid, dihybrid, and polyhybrid cross? So whenever any cross it is performed to study the inheritance of one character at a time, so then that type of cross is known as a monohybrid cross. And when a cross is performed to study the inheritance of two characters at a time, it is dihybrid. And similarly, more than two characters, to study more than two characters, inheritance of more than two characters, that is a polyhybrid cross. Fine. Punnett square, definitely we'll be drawing, discussing many Punnett squares. It is basically a checker board technique, and it is basically used to show the results of a cross between two organisms, and it is used to detect the possible number of phenotypes and genotypes of a particular cross. So that is a Punnett square. And now the next term is the self cross or the selfing. Selfing is basically crossing the members of the same generation, is called as a selfing. So selfing is like breeding or crossing the member or reproducing the member of the same generation, that is a selfing or the self pollination. Genome, it is a total set of genes. Genome is what? It is a total number of set of genes in the haploid set of chromosomes, and it is inherited as a unit from parents to the offspring. Okay? So it is a total set of genes in the haploid set of chromosomes. Gene pool, it is the all the genotypes, it is a sum total of all the genotypes of all organisms in a population, is known as the gene pool. ठीक है? That is, so this was all about the basic terms of genetics. And if we come across any other new term while discussing all the topics of genetics in detail, I'll tell you the meaning over there only. Most probably we have discussed the meanings of probably all the common genetic terms today. And if you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section, and in my next video I'll be discussing about the Mendelian genetics. So till then, I hope you liked my video. So thank you so much.